Hoja. It's not going to be a big deal because of the lead that he got in the early game. So Movie's going to be able to start saving up his Corsairs, and once he gets about six, he's going to start moving out with them, try to start picking off Overlords. He can't really move out with them yet, obviously, because he was so far behind getting those up, and there's already Spores and Hydras out, and there's Scourge all over the place. I think four, oh god. There were four Corsairs, and now he just ran them into Scourge again, losing another one. Just embarrassing for Movie right now. He was already behind, and just these little mistakes are putting him even further behind. It's going to be Reavers after this, so no Templar tech, just Reavers going to be his defense against Hydras, and hopefully a little bit of harass at the same time if he can get them out there. But there's a lot of Scourge in the air. There's Spores. There's Hydras. I don't think Movie's going to be able to harass his way into a win here. He's just going to have to be defending with his Corsairs and his Reavers at home.
Yeah, and the Hoja is not is if I was a third player, I would just go for 18 Hydras at a time from my 18 larvas. But Hoja is not doing it. He's building his economy up while building up his army. So even if his attack big Hydra attack fails, it will be very 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 almost impossible for Movie to get back into this game here. I like Hoja's style. He's just playing safe when he knows he has an advantage. And just 6 Hydras, but the Movie does not have enough for 6 Hydras. That's how bad a position that he is in. And the Reaver has come out, so he will be able to drag this game a little bit longer, but not for long.
Yeah, the Reaver's going to allow him to defend his natural from a few Hydras, but not for long. The Corsairs are out picking at Overlords, but they get caught by Scourge again, and Movie has just not been babysitting his Corsairs like he should be, losing more there needlessly, and he really can't afford to lose units like that. Having Reavers in his natural is going to allow him to defend, but with the amount of Scourge out there, and without being able to retain his Corsairs, he's not going to be able to move out with a shuttle, for fear of losing that. And if he loses his Reavers, then that's pretty much just going to be GG right there. So he's going to, I would imagine, play defensively with his Reavers. But later in the game, he's going to want to take a third base, and he's just not going to be able to do that with all the units that are going to be outside of his base, his natural base, keeping him contained. So really, just Movie is stuck between a rock and a hard place. And Burrow actually coming up from Hoja now. Going to burrow a few lings here and there to spot around the map. The Reaver and a couple Zealots have been shuttled over to the third base, so it looks like Movie's going to try to set up there. I don't know how successful that's going to be. There's going to be Hydras moving over. They're going to start picking at the Zealots while trying to avoid Scarabs from the Reaver.
Yeah, even though oh my God, looks like a drop has come, as is going to come from the right side from Hoja here. It has 4 Overlords dropping into the man, and there's nothing. Absolutely nothing the man to defend against this. And Corsairs out of position. And the shuttle gets caught and only 2 Corsairs left. I don't know what Movie is doing here. And a huge Hydra drop coming in from and the Movie does not have anything to defend against it. Its Reaver is all the way into the third base, and the shuttle has just got picked off. And the Reaver is has just spawned and is desperately trying to get back. The Templar Archive is going to be sniped. When the Reaver gets back, this huge Hydra army outside in the middle of the map will just march right into Hoja's base, right into Movie space. And when the Reaver comes, he can just dropship his Hydras in front of it and try to pick it off. That's exactly what he's doing here. Oh my God.
Yeah, actually, Movie cleans that up. Kind of sloppy there from Hoja. I would have actually liked to see him just ferry those Hydras out of there and save them all to be able to retain in his army.
Yeah.
But kind of sloppy there. He went for kind of a fancy drop to try to pick off the Reaver, but he wasn't really focus firing and didn't end up killing anything there. He just lost all those Hydras for free. So a little bit of an advantage there for Movie, but he's still way, way, way behind. He's getting his third base up now. A couple cannons there as well, and the Reaver at the top of the ramp is going to be able to defend against Hydras for a while, but obviously a Reaver can't kill Infinity Hydras, and with the drop upgrade as well, he's going to be able to maybe ferry a few Hydras in at the same time as he's attacking the front, and just split Movie's attention, split his Reaver fire, and be able to attack on multiple fronts, and eventually just whittle down what little Movie has. There are a couple, overlords coming in
Oh
now
my
with
god.
Hydras dropping, not focusing down the Reaver, and he actually does get the Reaver, yes. So he's going to be able to shut down the third base. At the same time, there's Hydras in the main base, which picked up a gateway, but won't be able to do very much more. And actually, Mutalisks are out now for Hoja, so uh, having lost
Boom.
all of his Corsairs, I'm not sure Movie's going to be able to do a whole lot about these Mutas. He only has, I think, one or two Corsairs left. There are Archons, but Archons are very difficult to micro
Wow,
against
look at that
Mutas.
Archon.
They like to just bump into things, yeah. The Archons are just sitting there doing nothing while the Mutas are being microed, killing off all the probes with the natural. Movie is completely dead.
Completely dead. And the Hoja, I have to praise him here. Um, you like when he sees when movie is grabbing that third with the Reaver, right? And his immediate reaction was just to research shop so he can be everywhere at once. Because with Reavers, Reaver is very good uphill against Hydras, but you can't defend with Reavers all over the place because they are so slow. So with drop tag, you can just go inside the main, go to the natural, go to the third base, go anywhere you want, and then just able to kill off movie easily. And Reaver is going to be a snipe by the Corsairs, just absolutely nothing. Nothing going for movie here.
Yeah, this was just a silly game. Movie is I would Movie's the better player of these two, I would say. And GG coming out now for Movie, so it's going to be 2-1 for KT. I think Movie's the better player of these two. So really, there shouldn't be any reason for him to not just play standard and try to go to a mid or late game army against Hoja instead of going for these wacky things. Harangue going two gate, Movie going gateway first, and then just slipping up. It's just really frustrating seeing them go for these weird tactics when they could just play standard and beat these players.
Too greedy. Alright guys, let's go back to the point I have stated before I went up there. Too greedy. Greed is good. It pushes up, pushes our society, but it's bad in StarCraft. It makes you lose to silly players. So next time when you play against someone like less worse than you, just go for standard build.
Yep, CJ has just dug themselves a hole now. It's 2-1, which seems like it's just a small lead, but in reality, KT has been playing their weak players, and CJ has been playing all their strong players. So with Flash and Stats left, and no one really who can beat them, KT is just in such good shape right now that I would almost call this right now, but obviously it's not over yet. CJ can still pull out some miracle wins. There's obviously several good players left, so I wouldn't cut them out just yet, but KT is obviously in a very commanding lead.
Yeah, what does CJ have left? Movie? No, Movie just got killed. Never mind. What was I gonna say? Snow, and they have what else? They have Movie, and they have No, not movie. They have Snow. Sorry.
CJ has Lita, Snow, Sky High, I guess,
Yeah.
and then some newer players like BB Young and Ware. Uh, Having played Hydra Movie and Harang 2 in the first 3 games, they were probably hoping to come out in an early lead, 2-1 if not 3-0. But it's just not happened that way. It's just weird player selection from CJ, and I think it's going to bite them in the butt here. They're not going to be able to win a single game in the playoffs, and the team that I think had a good chance of winning the playoffs is in dire straits here. It's probably going to end in third place.
Yeah. The only chance that I think for CJ now is like they have to use Ware or Boyan or Sky High to just basically just waste them on Flash, and then just use the other 2 players, Lida and Snow, to win 2 games, and bring it into the 8th match, and then bring out some snipers to snipe Flash. That's only that's the most likely way for CJ to win here, but the chances of meeting Flash with like for new players, Boyan and Ware, is like very very low. But consider that KT usually save Flash for last. They might be able. They might send out Lita or Snow next game, but we will see.
Yeah, the next map is going to be Icarus, which is kind of a Zerg map. A lot of ZVZs happen on this map, and CJ has already played their pretty much only Zerg. They could play Ware next if they really want to send a Zerg. The other option, obviously, is sending Lita, who was sent out last night on this map. So I would imagine it could be Lita against Crazy Hydra again. That's my best guess at this point. CJ has a good chance of winning that matchup if that's what happens. But at the same time, even if they win that, then they're down to pretty much just Snow as their only good player left against Stats and Flash still to play.
Yeah, it is just unfortunate that the CJ's 2 Protosses has lost like with greedy builds like that. Or maybe Harang 2 that build wasn't greedy, but it wasn't that usual.
It was just silly. There was no reason to do that.
Yeah.
I'm very angry at Harang 2 right now. Harang 2 has played brilliantly the last maybe 3 or 4 rounds. Harang 2 has really stepped it up for CJ. And for him to lose at such an important time in the playoffs, it's just really frustrating. Same thing for Movie. Movie had his flash of brilliance when he made it to the finals against Flash in an OSL a couple of years ago. And since then, no, I think he made it to the finals.
Oh, really?
He has a silver medal.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, and since then he's pretty much just been a Zerg sniper, not really doing very much else for CJ. But this year he has also stepped it up, and he's been doing great. And then for him to get to the playoffs and then lose, I think, 2 games now, just really frustrating for those 2 players.
Yeah, Harang, like those Protoss line for CJ has to step up. I know PvZ is hard, but at least give it a fight. Don't use some don't use those cheesy builds. What's the next map? Let's see here. Then
the next map is Icarus, and it looks like it's going to be BB Young against Snow. I said it was a Zerg map, but neither team sending out a Zerg. So again, just weird player selection. I don't know what's going on here. BB Young, pretty new player. He's not bad versus Protoss, but not great either, about 40%. For a new player, that's not terrible, but again, against a player like Stats he's going to be in way over his